Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me, except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Matt's come with me. No. When do we start?
What the hell?
52 episodes, cause we did a year.
Is that why you made me dinner tonight?
No, it was just because no one else was home.
Fair enough.
And I had to make lunches for tomorrow. I made it a big old pasta bowl.
Did you just sit around all day at the shop thinking about that as how you want to introduce our 1-year anniversary show?
No, but I did think about the last part of the show in the shower for a while.
Oh, should I be concerned that you asked me to bring a towel and no bathing suit?
52!
The new 52.
No, boo. 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 That failed. That failed miserably.
I've learned a lot in the last year.
You've learned some things.
I have.
You can talk the talk. You can walk some walk.
I've gone from crawling to, stumbling.
You know more than the average bear.
Roar, baby. Roar.
Sexy roar.
Rawr.
But here we are, episode 52. We've survived the first year.
Neither of us have killed each other yet.
If we're going to do that, we'd have done that a long ass time ago.
That's a good point.
I'm at a point in my life where I'm too old to make new friends.
I feel like we spent more time together in the last year on a weekly basis.
That's not true.
That's not true. We spent more time together not getting drunk nightly.
I was going to say, we spent more time in the last year together that we remember.
That's a good point, yes. There's probably a reason why we do the podcast we record it on a Tuesday night.
I don't go into work until 11.
Oh, wow.
I roll out of bed when I feel like it.
Your boss.
Usually
real lenient.
7.
Real lenient, your boss is.
Do we have news? I guess our NCAA tournament is going poorly for everyone.
We
all fell apart round 2.
Yes, round 2 was not kind to some of us. I can maybe try and pull up the
right now.
standings.
I think you're in the lead, but you don't.
I'm in second, but
don't have the best chance.
I lost my national champion, so therefore I am, as the kids say, dicked.
Is that what they say?
No, they say much more terse things, but I'm trying to... a New Year's resolution for the show, because it's the 1-year anniversary of the show. It's year 2 of the show. A resolution I have, be less vulgar.
Yeah, right now you are in the lead with 38 correct picks.
For 50 points.
With a possible of 114 possible.
Yeah.
But basically everyone else has a higher potential than you.
Yes, well, that's been the story of my life, really, for some time.
If you don't get enough of my sweet baritone...
There you go.
I'm going to be on some other show at some point. I'll retweet it. I'm going to be on the Black and White Comics podcast, where you can hear me wax poetic about some black and white comics.
So you found a new show. You're abandoning me.
No, I was just asked to be on it.
By who? This is how it starts. 1 year into our relationship, and now you're starting to see other podcasts. Oh, no, it's no big deal. They asked me. I wasn't looking for them. They just kind of found me. This is how it happens. This is how it starts.
I guess I was drinking through the entire thing.
Yeah, okay, that's your excuse. I was drunk. I didn't know it was in you. They looked like you and smelled like you.
No, I was just down here talking into the microphone. It was a little bit different.
Because they weren't here?
Yeah, just because I'm not...
Oh.
I was just staring at a blank wall of soundproofing foam.
So they didn't mess up my ass groove in the couch?
No, I sat in the middle.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have to leave thigh space.
This does not excuse you from your behavior of cheating on me. We will have a stern talking to after the show.
But speaking of disappointing things, let's get into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Transformers The Last Night had a trailer. I hate this series, I hate this franchise, and I hate this trailer.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Bay, the guy who is known for supreme sexism and objectification, put out a trailer like, do you fight like a girl? Do you throw like a girl? Because I do.
I was extremely disappointed that Shia LaBeouf did not just pop on the screen after that. Shia LaBeouf. Sheila.
The beef.
Yeah, LaBeouf. French for the beef.
Yes, Shia the Beef. Like, this trailer is awful. I hate this series. Please, no one go see this.
It looks
These movies
bad.
make billions. Stop going. That's my public service announcement. Stop.
Thank you, Zach.
Have you stopped?
No, they haven't stopped.
One of these movies will crash. I can't wait for that to happen.
Maybe it'll be this one.
It might be.
The more you know with Zach. And knowing is half the battle.
I'm a well-known curmudgeon.
Yes, you are.
There's nothing I hate more than the Transformers movies.
Terminator Genesis.
Ooh, I don't know. Oh, God. I guess Genesis, because they took a good thing and made it bad.
They've just taken a bad thing and making it worse.
Yeah, comparatively.
Well, the original Transformers was pretty badass.
Look, we didn't know better at the time. Don't go back. Don't look at the old cartoons.
Don't ruin it for me, man. Don't ruin it for me. You're the asshole who doesn't like Hanna-Barbera, so.
You're damn right I don't. Good news.
Okay.
Edward James Olmos.
What about him?
Just leave you hanging there. Isn't he good? He's a good actor. I like him in things.
Yes, like movies.
Like movies. He's coming back for Blade Runner.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Oh, all right.
Edward
There we
James
go.
Olmos is back.
I'm looking forward to this Blade Runner movie.
I like that he's in it. Because he was one of the more mysterious characters. Like, was he a replicant? Was he not? With his weird origami?
Listen, everybody's a replicant. That's what we're going to find out.
Probably. I think that's
Everything
what
you know is a
it was.
lie.
But I'm excited to get him back. I'm excited for this movie. I want to see it. But movies I don't want to see. Dear God in Heaven. Oh, by the way, hi everyone who's a new listener. We've gotten a recent kind of
I like it.
influx of listeners.
It's like we talked to him for a little bit. Oh, by the way,
Hello.
welcome. If you haven't turned off the tremendous amounts of hate that you've heard in the last 10 minutes.
I'm glad you're here.
Yes, me
Welcome.
too. Listen,
This is the part of the show where I yell at things, and next we'll get to the part where I yell at things, followed by the part where I mansplain things.
and I'm just along for the ride.
There we go.
I'm the voice of reason.
God, that's a sad commentary on my life.
Well, sad but true.
Things I don't want to see. The Matrix is getting a reboot or a sequel or a prequel? Did you see this? Something's happening with The Matrix.
No, I didn't. No, please no. No.
No, this is real.
God. Why? Neil's dead. Trinity's dead.
Well,
By the way,
Neo,
Trinity
Neo,
shows up in our
thank
show this
God,
week.
because at least someone talks like a person.
Yes.
No, Neo wasn't dead. He just got fused with a weird robot face.
I'm pretty sure he died.
Who knows? But The Matrix, done by Zach Penn, the guy who's going to be writing the new thing. It's kind of unclear. Originally, it was the original report was saying it's going to be a reboot, and then he was saying no, it's not.
It's like a reloaded. Let's see what I did there.
Yeah, no, and you're not the first. You're a week late
And $1 short.
and a weak link.
Oh no. Goodbye.
No one remembers that.
Oh come on. Plenty of people remember the weakest link. What was that chick's name?
I have no idea.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye. She belittled the crap out of people too. She was mean.
Salty, if you
But they
will.
paid her to be mean. Like in the British version, she's not that mean. In the American version, they're like, we want you to be just a salty bitch.
But yeah, so I guess it's not going to be a reboot, but who knows with The Matrix. And then there was rumors that it was going to be a prequel starring Michael B. Jordan as a young Morpheus.
What is there to prequel?
I like Michael B. Jordan, but I
Yes.
don't want a young Morpheus. We know where his story ends, and it's just going to be like a different version of what happened to Neo.
What are we talking about? How Morpheus gets
He's
taken
going to get
out of the Matrix?
Yeah, he's just going to get taken out of the Matrix, and then he's going to be told that he has to go find the one.
I feel like that is...
That's not a good idea for a movie.
No.
I hope that's not real. And
Matrix, look at how the Star Wars prequels turned out. Not well.
I really like Michael B. Jordan, but I don't like the sound of that movie.
Do you like Sophie B. Hawkins?
Who's that?
Nothing compares to you. Not Sinead O'Connor. Sophie B. Hawkins was...
But here's the thing about The Matrix. The Matrix at the time, the first Matrix, is an amazing movie. Has it aged well? The answer is no.
Sophie B. Hawkins is Damn, I Wish I Was Your Lover and As I Lay Me Down.
Okay.
And right beside me. Damn, I wish I was your lover. Yeah?
I'll stick to the singing on the show, thank you.
Okay, well, it's a year in. I figured I'd try to mix it up a little bit.
I don't think The Matrix has aged well. I know
No.
the second two are terrible, but
The first one was good. I'll watch the first one if it's on.
the first one is like the Hyper 1999 cool, and the Hyper 99 cool has not
It's
what
also-
passes for today.
That was also the time where people were wearing long sleeve like sweatshirt type things and choker necklaces and had blonde tips.
And like the black
bowl
leather
cuts,
jacket,
black leather
and like this
jacket,
weird
yeah,
like new
trench
metal.
coats.
It doesn't work now. And if you're gonna redo the Matrix, you would have to find another way for them to get out of the Matrix, or still stick it in '99, so there were still payphones kicking about.
Yeah, what is a payphone? Do you actually? I saw one not too long ago.
I believe you, but I'm like, if you were gonna
In
redo
a-
the Matrix,
in a
you would still
museum.
have to stick it back in like
Yeah.
'99. I don't know. I have no interest in this.
Then don't watch it. It's that simple.
Well, easy enough.
I just saved you all of the angst that you had
Thank
built up
God.
inside of you,
Thank God.
like an angsty 1999 teenager.
I used to love the Matrix, but it's just for me, it hasn't aged well.
It kind of had that effect. Like, what if I am in the Matrix? What if this isn't real? It was like the Truman Show. Remember the Truman Show?
Yeah, I haven't seen that in
That's a good
a
movie.
long while, but yes.
If there was an in, wouldn't I be in on it, Truman?
The Batman has been pushed back.
Oh no.
Apparently, the director Matt Reeves wants to redo the script. It might have something to do with Ben Affleck coming out of rehab.
And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Ben Affleck just finished rehab for alcoholism.
He's done it before, though. He did it back in 2001. He went in for alcoholism.
Yeah.
But then DC is trying to fast track another project to take its place, and boy, do they have a good track record with that.
Oh no. What are they fast tracking?
It's unclear, but that's the rumor. Is they want to fast track something else to take its place.
See, this is the problem that they run into is they, instead of just sticking to the plan, this is going to mess the plan up unless they're going to fast track like Aquaman or something.
Aquaman actually got pushed back. I wasn't going to mention that, but
Oh.
it got pushed back 2 months, which is fine because that movie seems to be on track so far.
What about Cyborg?
Literally no news,
Oh, maybe that's what they'll fast track.
potentially. Speaking of DC, Suicide Squad 2 has a writer.
Ooh, who's writing it?
Adam Kozad.
Who is he?
He wrote The Legend of Tarzan and Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit. So, boo.
I don't know.
Those are terrible movies, and
Is Mel Gibson still in the running to direct it?
no news.
Oh,
The director is unclear. He was
chop chop.
at least publicly in talks about it. It's unclear where it's going to land, but that's not a good sign. Let's get a really like C-grade writer to get on board this project. Woo!
Would you write it?
Yes.
If you could write it, what would be the overall theme?
I don't know. Not being an ad for Hot Topic? Step 1.
Okay, there we go. That's all we need to know. Suicide Squad 2, in which the gang of unruly anti-heroes saves a small comic book shop in Holloway, Maine from the man.
In the most unremarkable news ever, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will happen.
Oh, well, yes.
Are you shocked?
No.
Are you surprised?
Not really.
Are you bewildered?
No.
But James Gunn came out this week. He said, yeah, Guardians 3 is going to happen. It's unclear if he's going to direct it or not. Ideally, he would, but if he's not feeling it, step away. I mean, look at something like Spider-Man 3, where it's nice to be like, oh, like this is the director's body of work, and they did like this whole story, but if you're not feeling it, leave.
Yeah, or if they don't let you do the story you want to do.
Leave.
Yes.
Because otherwise you'll get a Spider-Man 3. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully he does it, but
What, Emo Peter's not doing it for you?
no.
That was such a missed opportunity with Venom and the symbiote. I'm just going to say. Oh, by the way, I had like an outrageous theory in the back of my head. Did I say this to you the other day with the movie Life? Is it Life?
Probably.
The one with Ryan Reynolds and
Jake Gyllenhaal,
Jake,
yeah.
I was thinking to myself, I was watching the trailer the other day, I'm like, wouldn't it be neat if somehow like Marvel had found a way to tie that in, and that's like how the symbiote gets to Earth?
And how does it get to Earth? I don't know. It just shows up in a random park somehow with no explanation.
In the movie?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, there's like a small meteorite lands. But like the movie Life that's coming out with a pretty all-star cast, was like, wouldn't that be neat if like they did a whole movie about how the symbiote comes to Earth?
Sony has announced that there is a Venom movie coming in 2018.
So maybe.
No, it's not connected.
Son of a bitch! Damn it all.
But that's a real thing. There's a Venom movie coming. This is the second time this has been, or maybe the third time this has been announced since 2006. It's unclear if it's going to be connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe or not. But Venom is coming. Hopefully it's not terrible. Until there's more news, I don't really have a lot on
No.
it. But yeah, 2018, a Venom movie from Sony.
I always felt like there was a missed opportunity in Spider-Man 3 to deal with Venom, and I didn't like the Sandman's such a lame guy.
In the 90s,
What's your power? I'm sand.
In the 90s, I loved Venom. I had a ton of Venom comics. I understand that he is very much a late 80s, like early 90s character, kind of, I don't know, being a collection of everything that's terrible about that time, but I still loved the character back in the day.
They had such opportunity with him, and they just dropped the ball on it.
But there's another one coming, so we'll see what happens.
And the worst part of that movie is Tobey Maguire crying. Tobey Maguire crying is so hard to watch. And I like Tobey Maguire.
I thought it was him thrusting air so hard that it made someone's hair blow back.
I would almost rather see that than Tobey Maguire crying.
Yeah, he's an ugly cry face.
Well, I mean, not very many people have a pretty crying face.
Fair.
I think it's exceptionally fair. His is just harder to absorb than others. It emotes very much.
It came out this week that future Star Wars movies, the Star Wars movies that are like the Star Wars stories movies,
Star Wars universe, whatever.
won't rely on legacy characters. We might get some new stuff in there,
Some like real side.
which I think would be nice. Like expand
Stuff.
the universe. They have a whole universe. It doesn't have to be about the
I want a Boba Fett
Skywalkers.
movie.
That was supposed to originally happen with Fantastic Four director Josh Trank, but then he went crazy and they stopped that thing.
I want a Boba
And then
Fett.
he was like, oh no, I definitely quit, but I was certainly fired. In Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Sylvester Stallone and Michael Rosenbaum are going to play very important roles, and it hasn't been revealed in any way, shape, or form.
Wait, Sylvester Stallone is in Guardians 2?
Yeah,
When did this become known?
when he was seen walking around with the script.
Oh, when did we talk about this on the show?
I don't know if we did.
Oh.
Probably? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't remember basically anything we ever did.
okay.
People will be like, oh yeah, you said this thing. I'm like, did I?
So
don't
Sylvester
know.
Stallone will be in like a successful mainstream movie, not like a B action movie like Expendables or a remake of Rambo. Although I guess Creed, mainstream successful movie.
I loved Creed.
I know you did.
And I love the last Rambo movie. That's a great movie.
He just wanted
Grant-
some lunch, man.
Granted, it's 9 years old now, but the last Rambo is great. Don't watch it if you don't want to get people cut down with a 50 cal gun.
We've watched a lot of movies
Because
recently
boy, do you.
where people get messed up badly.
But yeah, Michael Rosenbaum, if you don't know the name, you might know him from playing Lex Luthor on Smallville, or he voiced Wally West in the Justice League animated cartoon. Apparently, these two characters are connected. I have no idea who they're playing.
Well, we'll find out soon enough.
But yeah, whatever. Give me Stallone in a Marvel movie. Why not? A random one that I want to talk about. The upcoming Rampage movie. Do you remember Rampage?
No.
Rampage was an old Nintendo game
Oh, yes.
where a giant monkey and a giant lizard would punch buildings, and it was kind of a race to who could punch the building the most.
Yes, who could destroy more quicker.
Yeah, when I was I used to rent this all the time from like a convenience store.
Yeah.
And I called it King Kong versus Godzilla.
Because that's pretty much what it is.
I bought it years later and then sold it at the store.
Oh, boy.
But Malin Ackerman is going to play the villain in the Rampage movie. Like, I can't believe there's going to be a Rampage movie.
Who would the villain be? Industry? Cities?
The
buildings?
building?
Oh, no, the Chrysler Building, played by...
A 10-story building played by Malin Ackerman.
It just kind of stands there. This bastille of industry and commerce.
My God, what a terrible idea for a movie. But I just felt like mentioning Rampage because I loved that game so much as a kid. I used to rent it all the time and then I bought it.
I wonder if you could find it online, like an emulator, and play it online.
I guarantee you can.
Oh, okay.
I bought it legit, yo, and I sold it.
Legit.
Sold it legit as well. Probably bad news.
Uh-oh.
Ridley Scott is planning at least 4 more Alien movies after Alien Covenant.
Oh, boy. Why?
How about no?
Why do we feel the need to, just... Can somebody come up with... Have we run out of creative ideas? Or,
Yes.
if people just...
Apparently, yes.
There's no more new and fresh
Too
ideas.
much of it. Also, he's in his 70s. He's planning 4 more movies?
He won't see them through.
No.
So they can do
This is insanity.
They can do a couple and he passes away and they let it go.
I hope Alien Covenant's great.
Hmm.
But this is too much of a good thing. Just tell the story you need to tell.
Maybe it takes 4 movies to do it.
doesn't. If your answer is 4 movies, condense it. Condense the story.
George Lucas said his story was actually 9 movies.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Well, right now, as of late, pretty decently.
Not great. Yeah, he hit the ball out of the park twice and had a wet fart 4 times.
Are you calling Jedi a wet fart?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's also point out that of all those movies, the best of them is one he didn't direct.
And then he killed the next director.
He did not kill Irving Kershner. Oh, you mean Richard Marquand.
Oh yeah, that took you a second. Yeah, kind of killed him.
How did he kill him?
From stress.
Oh.
The guy died like right after.
Oh.
From a movie that he may or may not have directed. He kind of didn't.
His name was on the directorial credit?
It was.
Oh, well.
Got dark there.
Well, moving on. This is depressing news.
Well, then let's talk about Nazis.
Okay.
Marvel, their upcoming summer event, Secret Empire, came out last week that Magneto is going to be a Nazi.
Well, he is German.
And a Jew.
Well, that's also a point.
I loved it. This is like the internet freaked out so hard, and I loved watching it, which is clearly all Marvel was trying to do, is just to get a reaction.
Hey, I don't care what people are talking about as long as they're talking about me.
With the whole like Captain America being a Nazi thing, that was this whole like not brainwashing, but kind of brain rewriting thing.
Hydra.
Yeah, which people freaked out about, and how they're like, Magneto's a Nazi! Ah! Like, Jesus, just let the story happen. I guarantee that Marvel isn't so dumb to be like, we're going to make our one major Holocaust survivor be a Nazi.
I'm sure that he'll
I bet there's a plan there.
Yes, I'm sure there's a plan, and it probably involves him and eventually killing a bunch of Nazis.
It's like, just let the story happen. I guarantee there is a point. No one would be that stupid.
There it is.
Deadpool 3 news. You know, that movie that's nowhere near production.
Why are we already talking about the third installment of a movie? This is the second time in news today we're talking about a third installment of a movie that the second installment hasn't even come out yet.
There was talk a little while ago that Deadpool 3 may be an X-Force movie, but the writers of Deadpool 2 came out and said, no, these will be 2 separate properties. So more X-Men movies.
Because that's what we need.
Boo. I loved Logan. I want Logan to be the perfect finale and not be muddled with other items.
Well, I mean, we're going to get Deadpool 2, which doesn't have to be an X-Men movie.
But that's a thing. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. I'll have to wait and see. I'm a little afraid about Deadpool sequels. I feel like it'll be kind of like the Hangover trilogy where they just like do the same gags over and over again.
Only they take him to like the next extreme and the next extreme. Well, you know he's going to break the fourth wall again.
Yeah, Deadpool for me works better as a supporting character than he does as a leading man, so we'll see what sequels can potentially bring. I'm not against it, because I did really like the first one.
But you're not necessarily
But I'm not beating down the door waiting for, like, give me every Deadpool movie!
Here's my money. Provide me with entertainment.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Sad news, we talked about this back in January with Bernie Wrightson, the co-creator of Swamp Thing and known for a lot of horror books. He has passed away a couple of months after brain surgery, where he said he was officially retired.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's a legend. His big claim to fame is being the co-creator of Swamp Thing, and one of his other big works is, and if you want to go look at some amazing pencil work, his adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is out of this world. It's one of those properties that's in the public domain that anyone can do whatever they want with. I think about the only thing that has a copyright on it is the makeup that Jack Pierce did back in 32. Like, you can't have the monster looking like Karloff, but beyond that, it's kind of...
With the bolts coming out of his...
Yeah, beyond that, it's kind of open season.
Oh, okay, so he can look like a zombie and all kind of...
He doesn't... The description of the monster doesn't sound like that anyway, but... Yeah, he's a massive name that has a huge, huge impact. He has a massive body of work, and it was kind of sad to see him go. Which, following, like, brain surgery in January, it didn't come as, like, a massive shock, but it was still sad to see, like, this big titan of the industry go down.
Well, that's a real upper note to end the news on.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have another little piece of, like, happy news to throw in there?
I mentioned the Nazi thing.
That's not happy news.
No, but oh god, this is gonna be a sad show. Because let's talk about Iron Fist.
Ah!
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
This is a tough nut to crack. So we're gonna talk about Iron Fist. Neither one of us have finished the show, and
I don't plan on it.
you're probably not going to. I will, but
Will you tell me if it gets any better? If it gets any better, I might watch it.
we'll see. Yeah, we haven't seen the show in its entirety, so we're not going off of all things. So I'm not going to worry terribly about spoilers. I'll be careful about them, but I'm not going to be beholden to them because, frankly, I don't know how the show ends. I hear not well, but I can't say from personal experience.
Can it go uphill from here?
I'm told from about the point where we're at, it does take a bit of an upward swing, but never gets to a good level. So going back a ways, Iron Fist, there were rumors that they were having a hard time cracking the story, that it might be made into like a 2-hour Netflix movie versus a show, which the original contract stood for. But then eventually it did end up getting made into a 13-episode show, which is probably a mistake. If there's been any kind of misstep with all of these Netflix shows so far, for the most part, is having them be a 13-episode season. They are essentially meant to be binge-watched, and thankfully the next one, The Defenders, is only going to be 8 episodes, which really probably all of these shows should have been. Tell a tighter story, condense it. Netflix really put their best foot forward first with Daredevil Season 1, and Daredevil has a strong base. There are strong stories that you can build off of. They took a ton from Frank Miller. Jessica Jones did the same thing with the Alias series, took a ton out of there. Luke Cage was kind of lukewarm. Ho-ho!
I see what he did there. Oh, wow, look out.
But because there isn't... I can't go like, oh, this is your like key Luke Cage story. Do this. Adapt this story. And the same thing is kind of the problem with Iron Fist. Actually, historically in the comics, both of those books, Power Man and Iron Fist, were doing kind of poorly, so they ended up getting combined into one book, which probably is what should have happened here, because Iron Fist is off to a rough start.
I mean, I feel like what they should have done is like what you said, the original plan. Make just a Netflix original movie, 2.5 hours
It
tops.
probably could have been fine.
It would have been fine like that. It just drags on. It's formulaic. It pretty much after the first episode, it's the same thing I almost want to go back and watch an episode and timestamp it out and then match it up with another episode. Do you get the same characters at the same point in this episode that you do in this episode? Are they doing the same things?
You want to do like the Elvis thing and watch like 4 TVs at once?
Yeah, I might. Yeah. Just
Okay.
kind of multi-screen it. Suck up all the internet bandwidth in Central Maine.
The real problem, the show has a lot of problems. When I was first watching, I'm like, this, it's okay. It's a little bit slow. Then I started writing my notes down. I'm like, oh no, I hate this.
I knew right away. I was like, wow, I was trying so hard to give it the benefit of that and get into it.
Because I love Daredevil, and I like Daredevil Season 2. I know that a lot of people give it flack, which I don't fully understand because I enjoy it. I love Jessica Jones. Of the 5 seasons that have been out, 3 of them I think are insanely strong. But Iron Fist is one of the weaker things to come out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The weakest still probably being Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3. But this is coming in at a strong second place.
And not the kind of strong you want to be.
No.
I mean, the first episode to me, I kept getting flashbacks like, this is what would happen if Bruce Wayne wasn't well known or didn't like go off the map.
Yeah, this is like crappy Batman Begins.
Yes, it is. This guy breaks law. He breaks into a woman's house. He's supposed to be your hero, but he's breaking the law all the time.
You're kind of hitting on a main point. Like, one of the major problems here is Dany himself. And I don't even know if it's the actor. I only really know this guy from Game of Thrones. He played Loras Tyrell, the Knight of Flowers, I think. I'm going back a ways here. I haven't read the books in a few years, and I haven't seen the show in a few years. The gay knight that banged one of the kings. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
Does that clear it up?
Sure.
There we go. But Danny's one of the main problems. This is our protagonist. We're supposed to feel for this character. We want to follow his journey. He shows up. I can't tell if he's an idiot or a genius.
the other thing is, like, I don't have. What is he doing? What's his purpose? Like, he doesn't. At least to me, he feels directionless.
So for those who
early.
don't know, and I talked about this, I forget how long ago we talked about Iron Fist, but I'll give you a quick comic book recap of Danny, and some of it is show accurate. Danny goes off on a trip. His mother and father die. It is sabotaged by his father's business partner, Harold Meacham, who also is in love with his mother. They're eaten by wolves, I think, if memory serves. Which we didn't see in the show, and I really would have preferred that. Random wolf eating.
The Gray with Liam Neeson.
Never saw it.
He tapes glass to his fingers at the end and fights wolves.
I'm aware of the movie, never seen it. But then Danny goes to Kunlun or Kunlun, I'm not quite sure how to
I
pronounce
think
it.
that's the second one.
Kunlun.
Yeah.
And that is a mystical city that opens its gates every 10 years. In the show, it's every 15 years. Danny trains to be the Iron Fist, the living weapon, and he gets his power by fighting a dragon and plunging his hands into his heart, and he gets a burn on his chest that looks kind of like a dragon.
And this
It's
we
not a
just get a
tattoo.
tattoo.
I don't know. I haven't got that far in the show yet.
Well, at the end of the fourth episode, it shows his tattoo.
It looks like a tattoo. It's a burn in the comics. I'm not sure how it's going to
Oh.
come up in the show, but it's like he hugs a dragon and gets that burn.
But it's like one of the mythical cities of heaven.
Yeah, I don't.
So he pretty much dies and is brought back to life.
And then he can focus his chi, and after plunging his hands into the heart of a dragon, can create the Iron Fist without a lot of effort,
Just kind of flex and it happens.
essentially. And the show essentially does that, but then Danny comes back after 15 years, adding 5 years for some reason off of the comic origin. And he's an idiot, and he just tells everyone, he's like, oh yeah, I was off in Kunlun, and I plunged my hands into the heart of a dragon, and I don't know why you think I'm crazy, but he's just...
And everyone's like, you're crazy because Danny's dead.
Yeah. And he's just incompetent about how to talk to people, and then he's like, I didn't break any laws, and he breaks a ton of laws. Like, he does breaking and entering, he assaults people.
Can I also point out how, like, in the first episode when he breaks into Joy's house, how unrealistic it is that the spare key is still on that upper ledge that he climbs up onto above the door?
Yeah.
Who in New York City, I'm assuming it's New York City,
Yep.
who the hell would keep a key outside their house like that? A nice penthouse. And who would leave it there after all? And if she did really buy the house from the state of his parents, why would she change the locks? Why would she still have the same key? Why would she hide the key in the same place?
So
Makes no sense. Also, another little piece of continuity, because I'm going to get real nitpicky, because goddamn, this was 4 hours of my life I want back. He gets kicked out of the building without his bag, and then he gets his bag back. How does he get his bag back?
you notice the bag thing too? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's carrying around a backpack. I thought this was going to be a plot point. So Danny goes into Rand Enterprises. Danny Rand. He's like, this is my father's company, and I'm here to get it back for literally no reason. But here I am. He has no motivation behind what he wants to do or why he's at this company.
Because he has like a false sense of like
Entitlement?
loyalty and entitlement.
He's like, I want to run this company. I have no business acumen, but give me my company. And he's carrying a backpack, which seems to have a bunch of like
Ancient
we're
texts.
we're assuming like significant items, and he goes up to
A
this
Generation
company.
1 iPod.
Yeah, I did enjoy that, but he goes up and he drops his backpack, and it's abandoned. And we assume that like his childhood friends who are now running the company will rummage through it or something, but no, it's just a continuity error. He drops his backpack, he's thrown out without it, and then he just has it in the next scene. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, and they're really not like
so that's not a thing.
Joy
is
is
it?
kind of his friend, but what's his face?
Ward Meacham. Ward Meacham
Is
who
a douchebag.
dry as he is. I've never seen this. I looked up his IMDb. I've never seen him in anything. He is terrible. He is the worst part of the show. He is toast. He is dry as toast.
It's like he just fits the archetype of douchey business guy is douchey.
He has no charisma. He has no anything. I dislike him as an actor. And I've never seen him in anything else, but he is truly terrible. He's the worst part of this show. He's the worst part of a bad show. So, I don't know. Sorry, I guess,
Yeah.
for calling you out. You won't hear this, but you're no good. In this
I mean, I'm sure he's a
specifically.
decent actor. He's just kind of handcuffed.
Are you sure?
He's
because
handcuffed
I'm
by-
not.
He's got bad writing, dude. It's bad writing, bad character development. David Wentham is like one of the only redeeming factors of this show. His American accent could use a little work, but
One of my problems here is I think I can't tell if Danny's intelligent or an idiot. He doesn't know how to interact with people, but they show that he has intentionally, purposefully, and successfully bought an illegal passport on the black market. So he has some level of intelligence, but then he doesn't know how to interact with people on even a base level.
Well, I think it's probably because he's always spent most of his life in the monastery being beat the hell up by the monks.
Apparently,
and,
yeah, being a 10-year-old being
yeah,
hit
not
with
like really
sticks
having friends.
for 15 years, just getting hit with sticks, where they were like yelling at you about how to trade on the black market, but not how to talk to people.
Yes, that is the way of the world, apparently.
The dialogue in the show is awful. It's truly, truly awful.
Did they spend all their special effects budget on the opening credits?
I don't think they had a budget because I can't see any in there. Because he very rarely has the iron fist. Like, they find reasons for him not to be able to, like, fist himself.
Well, okay, maybe there's a better way to phrase that.
There's not.
To have a glowing fist.
Oh, you mean the thing where he's just holding LED lights in his palm and then they add some stuff in post?
Oh, to call upon the power of the fist.
The dialogue on the show is so awkward. Like, I can't believe that it went from a writer to producers to a director to actors and still passed for dialogue. Like, Danny goes into a dojo and these kids are kind of screwing. I guess they're in their 20s.
You chatter
or
like
30s.
monkeys.
Yeah. It's like, your punches are like lace curtains. Weak. Like, who talks like that? Who says anything is like lace curtains?
It's trying too hard to be Eastern philosophical, like Confucius say.
That they should have done it with an Asian guy, and I'm not going to get into that. Really,
The show's got a lot of flack for that.
Well, here's the thing with Marvel at the time, and I can defend this to a point, and actually I can probably more than to a point.
Step 2.
But Marvel at the time, Kung Fu movies were really big when Danny Rand was invented. There's also another character who, I'm not sure if he's in the show or not. There were rumors, and I haven't really looked ahead into it. But there was Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu, who was an Asian character, but Marvel also came up with Danny Rand at approximately the same time. And the reasoning was, like, parents wouldn't buy guys who were essentially the same. Like, you couldn't have multiple martial arts characters be like, well, look at Shang-Chi. Like, and also this other guy who's essentially the same thing. So they made a difference in the two, but Danny Rand has had more staying power than Shang-Chi, which is probably why he has a Netflix show versus the other one.
Maybe your name has to be Danny to be good, be an good American karate person. Think about Danny from Karate Kid. Danielson.
I'm going with what Marvel says. I also think that's a bit of a retroactive excuse. I'm not fully sold on it, but that's what Marvel says, is like, we made Danny because we already had Shang-Chi and we just needed to sell more books, so we just made a guy who was white because he was different than the Asian one.
It wasn't to fall in line with Karate Kid and Danny.
No, this preceded that.
Did I ever show you the video of the real explanation that Danny's actually a homicidal maniac in the Karate Kid?
No.
I'll have to show you that
Okay.
afterwards. You're a fan of the Karate Kid, right?
Yeah, I've only seen the first one. I didn't see the next 3.
You're the best around. What was the other song from that? That was the big love song. Like a knight in shining armor from a long time ago. What's the love song from?
Something. Take you to my castle far away.
Peter Cetera of Chicago sang it.
Yeah.
Peter Cetera.
This Karate Kid has some decent fight choreography. This show has
Glory of
nothing.
Love.
Yes, it is. Love the glory of love.
Ha ha! Some Glory of Loves. Oh, it's from Karate Kid Part 2.
I just know the song then, apparently.
I'm a man who'd fight for your honor. I'll be the hero you're dreaming of. We'll live forever knowing together.
I am the man who will fight for your honor. I'm losing subscribers.
Don't be that guy.
But then we have our main villain, David Wenham, Australia's David Wenham, who, boy, he cannot pull off an American accent. I've heard he's done an English accent a bunch. Oh, an American accent is rough on the ears.
I've heard worse. I've heard better.
The second he opened his mouth, I was like, oh, God.
You can hear it sneaking in there, though.
Be Australian, because American is not your thing, sir. You might know David Webb as Faramir from Lord of the Rings.
He was also the guy from 300.
Yep, the storyteller from 300.
The one-eyed man from 300.
He's narrated some other stuff in his career, but ooh, he looks great.
He does.
Like physically, he looks great. But
Agent of the Hand.
Boy, does his accent grate on my ears. I don't know. Iron Fist is boring. It's inconsistent. The fights are kind of bad. Danny, who is supposed to be like the greatest martial artist in the Marvel Universe, keeps on getting his ass handed to him.
Yes.
And it's not entertaining. If you want some good Iron Fist, there's a new series starting this week. Issue 1 comes out this week. And I'm not the biggest Iron Fist fan, but I read issue 1. I was pleasantly surprised how much I liked it.
All right.
So basically, don't watch this show, but go read the current Iron Fist comic because it was really good. It started so strong.
There were a couple interesting lines in there that I thought were interesting and powerful. Like when David Wentham's character talks about how, he had cancer and died and the hand, offered to bring him back. And he talked about taking his last breath. He said it scared the shit out of me. That was pretty good, talking about that.
I hate how much the show is like, we can say the word shit.
Yes.
Aren't we edgy?
But, I mean,
Poo-poo.
My big problem with the show, and it breaks your cardinal rule, we talked about this once, why you like Mad Max Fury Road so much, is it's all show and not tell.
Oh my god, I love Mad Max. Show don't tell, baby. Always show don't tell.
This is all tell and no show.
Yeah.
It's like somebody says something, and then someone's like, you just said this. And then someone's like, yeah, he said this because you said that. And then this is, it explains everything 3 times as to why it's happening.
So, thinking about this show and all the other Netflix shows that we've seen, the next ones that we know that are coming are going to be The Defenders and The Punisher. And I thought to myself, what should be the future of the Netflix platform? And frankly, most of them I think are going to fall flat, so I think they need to condense. So we know Defenders is coming. We know Punisher is coming. And the Defenders show, based on Daredevil and also what we've seen in Iron Fist, the enemy is probably going to be the Hand. Beyond that, Luke Cage and Iron Fist did not necessarily work as solo shows. I think you should combine those 2 shows, do a new show, call it Heroes for Hire. If you have to do 13 episodes, and I say don't do that because I'm sure Netflix is listening to my opinions, but make it 2 or 3 arcs about fighting like C-grade level Marvel villains. Get them being hired to go fight these assorted things if you want to have them build towards an ultimate villain that you'll see in Defenders, but
kind of like a discount A-Team.
Yeah, make it a little more episodic versus an arc.
Or maybe if you want to do an arc, you could have a standalone episode within the season, make maybe an Iron Fist story for an episode or 2, a Luke Cage, but have them intertwined.
Yeah, just
have concurrent stories going on, but
combine the 2 of them. Heroes for Hire. That's what you do. Get rid of them as individual shows. They're not going to work.
I felt that the hour-long show, for 56 minutes, I think? 57?
Depends on the show episode, but yeah.
It just felt like it took forever to get anywhere. It felt dark. There wasn't a lot of bright cinematography to it. I thought it was shot dark. Feels dark. It's just, I don't know.
Jessica Jones, season 2 has been greenlit. Really, I don't know what to do there because you did Alias. The beauty of Daredevil and I already said this, beauty of Jessica Jones, you had something to build off of. They've already done the Alias series. There's not a ton to do with Jessica Jones. I would say make sure you incorporate Luke Cage and end this with her being pregnant with Luke Cage's kid, because I don't know how much you can redo she's an alcoholic private eye. You already did it.
We're alcoholic podcast hosts, and we've done it for a year.
And it's getting old.
I hope not. People are just latching on.
I know. Hello.
Wait a minute. Do we have to stop being alcoholics?
No.
Okay.
Season 3, you should just do a Defender show with Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones. Take Daredevil out of the mix. He's not much of a team player traditionally in the books. But Daredevil, we're going to Daredevil Season 3. What you should do for Daredevil Season 3, I'm sure you already have a plan, but you do Frank Miller's story Born Again. In Born Again, Karen Page, who you've seen in Season 1 and 2, she is shown as a woman who has fallen on hard times. She has done a bunch of porn, and she sells Daredevil's secret identity for a shot of heroin. And we've seen that she has a dark past. Do it so she has to sell the identity so she doesn't have to reveal what her past of porn and heroin was. And then you have that secret making its way to the Kingpin like it did in Born Again, and the Kingpin hires Bullseye instead of Nuke. Bring Bullseye into the season. Get the Daredevil like main physical villain in there. And then the season ends with Daredevil's identity being revealed and he goes to jail like he does in the Ed Brubaker run. And then you have him escaping prison where Kingpin, Bullseye, I guess the Owl's dead in the Daredevil TV show, so he's not a part of it. Have the entire season be about him trying to get out of prison. Foggy is apparently killed, but he's not put into witness protection. Don't kill Karen like she was in the comic because you already killed Elektra, and to be weird if you're killing all the main female characters right in a row. And, I just pitched you 2 more seasons of Daredevil.
Wow. Maybe you should write them.
I just spoke them out loud. Do Born Again, and then
write to the people and be like, "Hi, I have an idea, and I would love to do this."
Listen, Doug Petrie. He did season 2.
Oh.
He's one of the co-showrunners. And the other guy, Douglas Petrie, and the other guy. You do Born Again, and then you do Brubaker's run. And there have been so many threads you could do at this point, because Brubaker's run has like the Punishers in jail, and he helps Daredevil escape, and Kingpin and Bullseye are in there. And then to cover the fact that people think that Matt Murdock is Daredevil, Iron Fist is running around in the Daredevil costume, pretending to be him, so that it throws people off the trail. It's all there. All the pieces have been laid out. Do that. I'll take a check anytime now.
I get 20% because it's on the podcast.
Yes.
Excellent. What would probably get what for if it was a successful pitch and they
I
did
don't
that,
know.
how much would you think you'd get
I don't think they'd give me anything ever. But I mean, that's what I would do.
I'm just
if I
trying to
was
think
them.
about how much money I could make off of you.
I would condense. I would do Luke Cage and Iron Fist. I would do Heroes for Hire and scrap season 2 for the both of them individually. Jessica Jones get to season 2. But then for season 3, I would condense all 3 shows into the Defenders because I don't think you're going to be able to sustain those characters for much longer than that. Daredevil, I think you can do for at least 2 more years individually. But those are just my thoughts.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing. I have no opinions on the matter.
I really like Daredevil.
I knew that
I
Iron
love
Fist
the
put on
show.
the Daredevil suit once.
Yeah, because we read that in Civil War.
Yes, we did. I remembered. I paid attention.
And that was coming out at the same time as like the Brubaker run.
I am so smart.
Because you read a thing once.
Yeah, and I remembered it.
But I guess that will do it for our review. Our review is... Nah. You don't need... Just watch The Defenders, I guess. Be kind of aware who Iron Fist is. He's the guy with an iron fist and a martial artist. End of story. But go read the current Iron Fist run. At least issue 1 is really good. Came out this week.
Quit chattering like monkeys. I have better than lacy curtain punches. We also did see a guy get his head cut open by a katana. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go home now. That's what he said afterwards. It's kind of cold.
So, moving on, let's do letters to the editors.
Lot of questions, number 1. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
As I do almost each and every week, I am going to paraphrase this. But it's almost...
It's good. It's not like you're straight up plagiarizing.
They're things sent to us.
I know.
If you want to reach the show, you can probably... I imagine tweeting at me would be best because I always condense these down into something small. But you can reach us at editorsnotecomics@gmail.com. Send me a message on Facebook. Or tweet us. Tweet at us. We may have answered this once before. It feels slightly familiar, but screw it.
I think I've asked you on multiple occasions, but I think you've never really given a straight answer.
Will Marvel ever get the film rights back to the X-Men? If this happens, how this works, something doing like the recent Secret Wars storyline could help incorporate it, and how would it affect the comics? It's a multi-step question.
It is.
Will Marvel ever get the X-Men film rights back? The answer to that is no.
No, Fox has got a lock on those, and that's money.
It's Fox's biggest moneymaker. They're not giving that up. And they're not going to do the Sony Spider-Man thing, like, especially now. Like, they're hitting their stride in a way they never have. It used to be, like, every 3 years, maybe more, Fox would put out an X-Men movie. They're like every year X-Men movie or something within the X-Men property. They're not giving that up. And recently, between Deadpool and Logan, they have found a new niche with like putting out the R-rated movies that are grossing more than the PG-13 ones ever did. They're not giving those up anytime soon. Sadly, how if they did go back, how would they incorporate it with something like Secret Wars work? So what Secret Wars was is Marvel kind of collapsed their multiverse literally by having planets explode into each other and then create one massive planet with alternate universes. I don't think something like Secret Wars would ever work because that would involve a multi-film story involving multiple franchises. Works on a comic book page, does not work when you're dealing with multiple film studios. Although it would be really cool, it will never ever happen. And if Fox were to give up the rights, or to at least loan out the rights, would it affect the comics? Not anymore. X-Men still pull greater numbers than anything else in the comic book world for Disney. Not that Disney really needs the comic book money, it's more of a... they have it more for the film division, but X-Men pull the biggest numbers, it's not going to really affect anything.
Well, good job. You answered it succinctly and straightforward.
I could have gone deeper into the who reports to who within the Marvel Disney side of things and who publishes the comics versus the films, but it's the short answer is no.
Well, I hope you didn't ruin their day.
X-Men still pull the best numbers, and realistically, if Disney wanted to, they could cut the entire X-Men line because they're Disney. It's nice that they own the comics. They don't need the comic book money.
No, they got plenty of money coming in from elsewhere.
They have made... I forget how much they bought Marvel Comics for, but they have made all that money back, and everything they do in the movies is all just profit
Gravy.
on top of that.
Question, by the way. Speaking of Disney, did you see Beauty and the Beast yet?
No, that just came out. I was busy all weekend. That's
Oh.
why I didn't watch all of Iron Fist.
Oh.
I had a busy weekend.
Oh, good for
I
you.
saw people. I saw family.
No, you didn't see people. You spent time with people?
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, wow.
But I guess, yeah. Those are my short but honest answers to if Marvel got the X-Men film rights back, and they won't.
Oh, there you go. Any sales?
Nope.
Where can we find you?
I
Are you giving?
don't always have to do sales.
Are you giving stuff away for cheaper than it should be?
A few things.
Okay.
I did mark a bunch of prices down on things that have been in the store for a while. I'm like, just get out of my sight. I'm sick of looking at you.
Hey, listen. Just because you put a price tag on me when I was sitting in your store for 20 minutes.
There is some stuff I've knocked down in price. But if you want to find me, you can find me over at editorsnotecomics.com on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, although I barely use Instagram, so probably not there. The show is also on YouTube. If you can go over to iTunes and rate, review, subscribe, it really would help the numbers, especially given our recent boost in new people. Come on.
Yay, new people.
Hi, once again.
New people. We have something exciting to tell you about. If you don't know, if you're new to the show, it's called our Patreon.
Oh, yeah, the Patreon.
Yeah.
If you want to get our show a day early, you can give us $1 over at patreon.com/editorsnotecomics, where you'll get that show a day early. And if you listen to my other show, the Buffy Back Issue Bin, where we go through all the Buffy and Angel comics that are canon chronologically, that show is out a week early. I think that's episode 4 came out today. Episode 5's up on Patreon, but it's going to continue for a minimum of a 50-episode show.
Nice.
Less episodes than we've done.
I know. I know that I'm the number one podcast friend.
I don't know. The numbers on that are going up quick, which is nice.
Oh, well. Hopefully they boost. Do you cross promote our show on the Buffy Back Issue Bin?
Maybe you should listen to the show and then you know. But I have about 1/8 of the listeners in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
That we have on this show.
Get your Buffy in because it's coming off Netflix at the end of the month.
And then find out what happens after and in between.
On the Buffy Back Issue Bin.
So many things.
That's a mouthful. That's a tongue twister.
It's alliteration.
I know what it is. I'm not an idiot.
You're a beautiful idiot.
I'm going to take that as much of a backhanded compliment as you've ever given me, and I will...
A back issue compliment.
I appreciate that. Ooh, I see what you did there.
And you're on Twitter.
Yes, at Junior Rich.
So next week we're going to be back with one of my all-time favorite comic book characters in one of the all-time stupidest, over-the-top attempts at social commentary.
This show?
We have no social commentary.
Exactly. We have no social skills.
We don't have those, but we will be back to talk about a comic that will beat you over the head with stupid, with Colossus, God's Country, a book from 1988 that is all about U.S. and Russia relations. It's not topical at all.
I have nothing to say because I haven't read it yet.
It's super topical.
I'll read it next Tuesday night before I come over for the podcast.
What's funny is like a few months ago I was like, we should probably do this book. I was like, I wonder if the Russia thing is still going to be topical when I want to get around to this. Yeah, it still is.
Yeah.
But boy, nothing we say will ever be as heavy-handed as this comic.
Is Ivan Drago in this?
That's pretty heavy-handed too. If I can change,
You can change.
we all can change.
I've seen a lot of change going on tonight. No, that's because you're friggin' concussed, Rocky.
I know, we found out in the next movie that it was then promptly ignored. But we'll be back next week to talk about Colossus, God's country.
You'd think that after a year we'd have a sign-off.
I don't know. Do you know what Russian for goodbye is?
Goodbye.
Das vidanya.
What is that?
I don't know.
That's-
It's something Russian.
You probably just started a war or something.
Fine.
No, it's not. Iron Fist.
Iron Fist!